I'll never forget the day that this happened. I was sitting in my office that's on the second floor of our church building in downtown, and I heard some commotion going on outside below my office window. And being a downtown church, not that uncommon for commotion to be happening downtown, but this seemed to have an urgency to it that other commotions had lacked. So I got up out of my chair and I went downstairs to find that my staff was in the process of trying to care for and comfort a woman who was wailing, deep, heavy, racking sobs that were not controllable. I said to her as clearly as I could, I'm the pastor of the church, ma'am. I'd like to try to help you. She looked right into my eyes and she said, "Look at me. Look at me." And I was kind of taken aback, and I said, I am. And she said, "No, look at me. I'm a person. I have a name." Those words are just ringing in my head, and we kept talking, and for the next 45 minutes or so, she unraveled her story to me. This story of a broken home as a child and being shuffled from one household to another, growing up and not really having a sense of family or connection, and getting pregnant in a time that was obviously not ideal for her, and bringing children into the world and not being married. And she kept getting moved from one ministry to another and shuffled from one agency to another, trying to get her needs met and trying to find food for her children, until finally she just reached the point where she was unemployed. She didn't have enough money. She couldn't provide for her children. She had to ship her children off to be cared for by other family members, and she wound up becoming homeless on the streets of Orlando. I'm not going to be treated like a non-human anymore. And she said, "I have a name, and I'm a person." And the words in that moment of Isaiah 43 just came tumbling into my mind. "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I've called you by your name, and you belong to me. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, and you are precious and honored in my sight, and I love you." And I realized in that moment that she did have a name, that she'd been named from the foundations of the world by the living God who had created her. And my call was to treat her exactly that way. So that day changed me, and my prayer for all of us and for this community is that we would work tirelessly to solve the issues that create homelessness in our community. But as we rethink it, we would remember that it's not an issue. It's people. People created by God, worthy of being loved. People that we need to never look past or through, but who we need to see, who we need to move towards with mercy and with justice and with the grace that God has given us. God bless you today.